Hey everyone, it's Silas, and this is the patch 9.12 notes rundown, so let's just get right into it. Champions, it seems like Mordekaiser. I already talked about Mordekaiser, have not actually gotten to play him on the PBE or anything like that, so I'm going to refrain from commenting. But I already did a champion first impression on him. Ryze. Q spell ranks decrease, shield remove, damage bonus now dependent on R, W now slows, spell flux bonus convert, slow to root. Okay, well, I'm not going to read what they're trying to go for him because he never turns out the way that they want anyway. Base stats, mana 400 to 300, that's really big. Mana region 6 to 8, Q overload rank 6 to 5, damage 60 to 185 scaling to 80 to 180 scaling. Removed, no longer grants a shield after consuming 2 rooms. Updated spell damage bonus 40 to 80% based on Spellflux's rank, 10 to 100% based on Realmwork's rank. Bonus movement speed 25 to 40% to 20 to 40%. Okay, so this actually all seems fine. So the damage is up in the end. Yeah, the damage is up in the end. W Rune Prison ratio 1% bonus mana to 4% bonus mana. Okay. Cost 50 to 90 mana to 40 to 100 mana. Base crowd control rooted for 0.75 seconds to slowed by 35% for 1.5 second. Okay. Spellflux bonus converts slow into root. Okay, this is good. Spellflux 70 to 150 to 60 to 140. Cost 60 to 100 mana to 40 to 100 mana. So his spells now cost less, which is really nice. Bounce House now is bounces off the primary target. Bounces no longer damage enemies. Flux Bomb no longer spreads flux to nearby enemies. Wait, what? Always bounces off the primary target. Ping Pong, bounce no longer damage enemy, no longer spreads flux to nearby. Okay, Realm Wart, ranks 2 to 3. Warp damage, overload damage bonus against targets with flux increased to 40, 70, 100%. Immediately cast at max range when attempting to cast beyond that. Minimum cast range 730 to 1,000. Maximum cast range 1750 to 3,000 to 3,000. Cooldown 180 seconds to 210 to 150. So I mean, semi-helpful at later stages. So with the ratio going up on mana and the damage being up on Q, as well as just everything seemingly being more spammable early on and the movement speed is still there. Let me actually take a look. I mean, he is missing 100 mana, though, base. When Ryze played optimally, he covers weaknesses incredibly well. At the same time, he benefits highly from a coordinated team. Pro player relishes champions with these characteristics, which is why he's been such a strong pick in the space. We're chipping away at these strengths to quell his presence there, but at the same time helping out those who are looking to pick him up and that aren't as precise in their combos. With the removal of the shield, he'll have fewer means of survivability against bad matchups, and by changing his CC to a slow, his gank target should have better, okay. Especially a flash Rune Prison combo. With the general part adjustments, we're trying to make him more welcoming to less experienced players. We'll open up the bounce game a bit. Always bounce off its primary target and placing some scaling into a passive tuning into account. Okay. I'm wondering if this makes Ryze go back to the old Ryze. Was his passive not changed? Where spellcasts reduce... I don't know if that's here. If that's actually still here, where he spellcasts make his other basic spells. Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm thinking that maybe Tank Ryze comes back instead of the AP Ryze. That's what I'm imagining, is that Tank Ryze probably ends up coming back. Tank Shotgun Ryze. I'm not imagining that he's continued to, I mean, maybe he's still played as like AP off tank, but I don't think that pure AP will exist after this. I think that Tank Ryze most likely ends up coming back, which I guess would be okay for top lane. The way that Aftershock was reworked, though, I guess it's a little bit unfortunate for him, but I mean, he still probably can get away with taking it depending on the matchups. So, especially because he has more control on it now, the Aftershock, which is kind of nice. I guess that's kind of nice. Silas. Passive now stores up to 2 charges. Base damage increased. AoE damage less effective against minions. Q detonation damage and AoE range decreased on minions. W heal increased. E shield adjusted and cooldown increased later. Passive predicate burst now stores up to 2 charges. Okay. Base damage 5 to 47.5. Levels 1 to 18. 9 to 60. Okay. Minions are friend. Deal 70% less damage to minions. Chain lash. Okay. That's whatever. Chain lash. Detonation damage 45 to 145 plus 0.6 ability power to 40 to 120 plus 0.4 ability power. Detonation AoE 200 range on minions, 180 range on minion. Okay. Kingslayer heal 60 to 140 to 70 to 150 plus 0.5 ability power. Abscond abduct. Cooldown 18 to 10 seconds, 18 to 14 seconds. Grants a 80 to 220. Oh, okay. Yeah. So his shield is moved. Plus 1 ability power. I think this is still fine. I mean, he's still fine. The thing that you're looking at is gonna be here. I actually really disagree with Silas's priority across the board right now in most of the regions. I don't think that he deserves to be as high priority as he is. So, then. The shield thing, I mean, it opens up so many trade time. He's gonna have less wave clear, and then you have more windows against him. But I don't think it kills him entirely by any means. Hopefully, it just adjusts him in competitive. Yuumi base health increased, passive mana refund decreased early, shield decreased, W shared adaptive force adjusted, dash now interrupt by all CC. Okay, health is up by basically an auto attack. Or too early on. Passive bop and block, okay. 40 to 160 to 30 to 160 shield, 80 to 360 to 80 to 300 plus 0.3 ability power. So losing quite a bit of shield. Prowling projectile, okay. Fixed a bug where the missile would not spawn towards the cursor as intended. Okay, W, you and me. Enemies now gain an assist on Yuumi. When damaging the ally Yuumi is attached to. Okay. Shared adaptive force 5 not this is weird to read. 5 to 21% of her attached allies adaptive force, 5 to 13 flat adaptive force plus 4 to 16% of her attached allies adaptive force. So it's going to depend on who she's attached to. Yuumi dash can be interrupted by any immobilizing CC. Oh, God. Just reading Yuumi is making me tired. Quality of life changes. I don't think that these changes make Yuumi bad by any mean. I still do think that she's probably the best support in the game right now. So she just has way too much synergy with so many champions, and she's just so loaded. I don't think that these changes hinder her at all. So this is nice. Simple champion changes. Aatrox. Passive cooldown now scales based on level. Our healing bonus now only applies to self-healing. That's sort of... I mean, this can have an impact in some team comps, but for the most part, I really like this. The 24 to 12. This hurts jungle Aatrox quite a bit, but in late game, I mean, he's going to love it a lot more. So in the end, I really like this change to Aatrox, so I think that Riot did a really good job with this. Ashe, W cooldown decreased 15 to 5 seconds, 14 to 4 seconds. It's not going to make Ashe magically come back. Yeah, it's not going to make her come back. This isn't enough of an impact. She might end up being picked by teams that actually like her and they want to utilize her R, and it might put her on the map in solo queue for a little bit. I mean, it's definitely a welcome buff, and at max CDR, this is quite nice. But yeah, base attack damage increase is definitely a small buff. We're being extra cautious with her since she has a tendency to overtake metas. 2 AD. 280. Well, I mean, if she autos 30 times in a team fight, and then you factor in the damage from some of her abilities, I mean, it can come up a little bit. I mean, it's I joked about this on the cast the other day. I think I said 280. I don't remember who I was talking about. I was talking with Atlas on the LCK cast, and I said I'm pretty sure I said -5 MS. And then +2, or, oh, yeah. -2 AD. or something like, I can't, oh god, this is hilarious. Irelia, E cooldown increase, range decrease, flawless duet 14 to 10 seconds to 18 to 12 seconds, range 850 to 775. This doesn't impact any of the matchups where she's casting it, nor is it going to change the fact that if she doesn't hit it, she's not trading on you anyway. And if she does hit it, it's not really impacting anything anyway. I mean, a 4-second window, and I mean, once she ends up getting a CDR, this is not really that noticeable for good Aurelias. This will be noticeable for bad Aurelias or matchups where you're bullying the opponent and tend to miss your E, or continuously miss your E. Karma Q-Slow, increased E cost, decreased movement speed duration, increased to match shield duration. That's the really, really big one. Inspire, cost 60 to 80 to 50 to 70, so she ends up getting probably 2 casts for free during laning phase. Movement speed duration 1.5 to 2.5. That's the really big one. The slow 25% to 35%, I guess is nice. It'll come into play maybe sometimes on certain angles and approaches that you end up taking, but this isn't going to do anything to top Karma. I know some people were talking about that on Twitter. But for support Karma, this is definitely nice. The problem is that Yuumi exists. LUL, visual effects on abilities updated, E-shield increased, cost decreased later. Help pick 70 to 210, 80 to 220, cost 60 to 100 mana, 60 to 80 mana, okay. Passive, so I mean, this is sort of the same thing. These buffs are not enough to bring back LUL, especially not when Yuumi exists and Karma just got a buff. Nautilus, Q base damage decreased early. 100 to 280 to 80 to 280. It's fine. Nautilus is actually not being played in mid or top anymore. After that meta ended up dissipating, basically. So him being in support, losing a little bit of damage on the dread line is completely acceptable. Zac, W base damage increased. R knockback distance and chunk spawn adjusted. R lets bounce 250. Each bounce that hits one or more enemy champions spawns a chunk. Well, this is actually a really, really big buff for Zac. W unstable matter base damage 15 to 75 to 25 to 85. This is actually a very nice buff as well. I don't know if it's sizable enough to impact him, especially not when Ornn and Sejuani exist. When it does not seem like Ornn or Sejuani is in the current patch, but whatever. Corrupting Potion, bonus magic damage flattened 15 to 30 to 15 at all levels. That'll actually really hurt a lot of matchups where you want to take it. That'll really hurt it. There's a lot of indirect nerfs that come in with this Corrupting Potion change. So a lot of matchups are impacted by this, especially because now champions that can't really utilize it and just go Doran's Ring, Doran's Shield, Doran's Blade, whatever, or Longsword refillable, get so much benefit out of this. This is actually very, very big. It's also particularly big post-first recall, where trading becomes really, really important, and any extra tick damage playing up to that level 6 or the all-in at like level 7 or 8 becomes increasingly more concerning. These are all ARAM stuff, so I'm not going to comment on that. Dark Cosmic Djinn reminds me of like Kefnet from Magic the Gathering for some reason, and he's like above the clouds. I don't really know what's going on there. Darkstar Karma looks really, really cool, but it looks like something out of Marvel. Actually, what is it? The purple guy. Is it Galactus or something in Marvel? I'm getting a Galactus vibe. Darkstar Shaco, I'm not feeling anything there. Yeah, I'm not feeling anything. Dormammu, or I don't know how to say his name. Anyways, taking a look at the skins. This looks pretty cool. I actually particularly like this one. I think this one is the best. The one that I'm hovering my mouse around. Every other one is sort of like, This looks like it escaped from Egypt. I don't know. I'm getting some like mummy pharaoh type vibe thingy going on there, but pretty much it. Darkstar Karma. I really like this white neon type thing. I like this one too, actually quite a lot. I would probably like this one and this one if I was younger. I tended to like these types of color schemes when I was a lot younger. I really don't like the pink and I don't like the green. Well, maybe I could like the green. You know, maybe I'm getting like a Malfurion Storm Rage type vibe. I'm not totally sure. This cotton candy just has to go though. I'm not really getting into that vibe, and the green just not, you know, it's not really doing it for me. And then Dragon Slayer Braum. So I really don't know how to quite feel about this one because it really does just look like Pantheon got really old. So that's actually just what I'm going to say. Pantheon's really old now. So that's pretty much it for this patch. It was actually a really small patch. Hopefully we get a lot of value out of Mordekaiser having entered into the patch now. So hopefully he's actually meta shifting in a way. I mean, he hard counters Yuumi, right? You just you use his ultimate on whoever Yuumi's attached to, and then she just plops off and you walk over her like honey fruit. So that's pretty nice. That is quite good. But overall, it's a pretty good patch. I think actually this one's okay because it's careful, but it included quite a bit of buffs and positive changes, and obviously there's a new champion, so can't really complain that much.